slow down for about an hour and just like
Your
glitch
eyes
out.
are flying saucers from another planet. Now I'm all for you like Janet. Can this be a real thing? Can I? But your eyes are flying saucers from another planet. Now I'm all for you like Janet. Can this be a real thing? Can I?
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Violence. Get ready. No.
Violence!
I awoke and chose violence.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the shit show, Friday night shit show.
Wait. We gotta do it properly.
Uncensored.
We gotta do it properly.
I
We gotta do it
did.
this way.
Hello. Welcome to the Friday night shit show.
Every single day,
Oh.
a new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks.
Everyone sucks. Yeah. Yeah, except for the girl you're dating, right, guys?
Ooh, that's what she said.
No, she does suck. Never mind. Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind.
Whoa!
Oh, my God.
Well, wanted to say thank you to Orange Hat and Ruben for joining me tonight. I did send a couple of invites out, so I'm waiting to see if they're going to show up. So if they do, that's great. If they don't, it's like, oh well, it's Friday night. Maybe they got a date or something big going on. But yeah, man, there's been a lot of shit happening this week.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
fucking
wow. I mean,
celebrities
it's like it's like nothing can prepare you for you know, the next thing that's about to happen. You know what I mean? It's like you think, oh yeah, there's nothing that's shocking anymore. I know it all, you know, but then you go, what the hell's going on? But let me see. I want to pick out this one. I think this is it. Yeah, I think hopefully I clicked on the right one. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the one. I want to show this because this is one of Trump's new picks for the undersecretary, I guess, of the Navy.
This is the scariest sound you will hear when you live in a communist country. This is the last sound my parents heard when their fathers were taken away in the middle of the night, and they never saw their loved ones again. That's the sound of losing your freedom, the sound of always living in fear. That's my family's real life story. We escaped from Vietnam just days before Saigon fell to the communists. We were given a new life in the most generous country on earth, America saved my life. I graduated from the United States Naval Academy. I earned a master's in physics and fellowships at MIT and Harvard before the left replaced merit with racial quotas. I spent my life trying to repay my debt to America, my country, our country, with 25 years of service in Navy Special Operations, combat in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. But now our country has taken a dark turn. That's Joe Biden's Justice Department sending 24 armed agents to arrest a pro-life activist in front of his family. That's Joe Biden's IRS raiding a gun shop and seizing thousands of records from law-abiding gun owners. Our names, our addresses, our social security numbers. That's Joe Biden arresting his challenger in the next election, a former president of the United States. And now a different sound. That's the sound of someone breaking into your home or business. The sound of crime destroying our cities and communities. That's how it all starts. They let criminals back on our streets. Millions of illegal immigrants pour across our border each year, including military-aged men from all over the world. And enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in this country. And the Biden family? Well, that's how it works in a dictatorship. The rules don't apply to the rulers. We are losing our country. You know it, but you also know you can't say it. We're forced to say that wrong is right. We're forced to lie. We can't let that happen. I've been all over the world. Believe me when I tell you, if America fails, there's nowhere else to go. I'm Hung Kao, retired Navy captain running for the United States Senate. I still believe America can be the land of opportunity. I have an obligation to fight back against those who want to control our lives and disrupt our families. We need real fighters, not politicians, not bureaucrats, not keyboard warriors acting tough in a custom-made suit. No, not here in America. We must refuse to be intimidated. We must be fearless. I'm Hung Kao. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message because I'm not done fighting for us.
Well, he was running for office, and he was beat by that Kane guy. Can't remember.
Mhm.
He didn't win, but guess what? Trump picked him as our Undersecretary of the United States Navy.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
I wanted everybody to see that because I thought it was a really impressive video. And I won't say anything else about the evacuation of Saigon, but I have someone in my family that was way high up in that whole thing. And he has a lot of people that escaped North Korea that just really look up to him because he saved a lot of people. And he was a helicopter pilot, one of the helicopter pilots. So that's why I think this is awesome. You know, this is a really good deal. And I'm so proud that Trump is picking such wonderful people that love this country and understand what this country is supposed to be. You know what I mean? And what it's supposed to offer. And I'm hoping that more people will open their eyes and realize the opportunities that our country is supposed to have if you just work a little harder to try to get it and believe in something instead of sitting around expecting others to give you something. Why not go out there and earn something? You know, that attitude. So
That's right.
I'm hoping that we will get more of that as the years go by under Trump. And people see some, because I got a couple things before we start on all the different things we're going to talk about tonight, but I got a couple of little videos that I found to me that represent the new way of looking at things. This next thing I have is an interview of Elon, and it's a snippet of an interview about him being on Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan had asked him about, his people trying to kill him now because he's what he's doing. And this is one of the comments he made. I thought you guys, I don't know if you'd heard it or not, but I thought everybody needed to hear it. But it's pretty good. It's only like 25 seconds, but it's pretty good. Listen.
I mean, I do think like one argument for me staying alive is that it's more entertaining if I'm alive than if I'm dead.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Definitely.
I just hope but I could be alive and like injured, which would suck. You know,
Right.
like the wing just like shoot my arm off or something.
Right. No, we don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Keep the security strong.
Yeah, clapping with one hand.
He'd be happy with one
What
hand.
the fuck? What the hell?
What's
Imagine no. But here's what's so fucking weird.
What?
When he just said it. What is this? God forbid someone shoots his arm off. He gets a robotic Tesla arm. He becomes Iron Man. Imagine fucking
Well,
Elon
it's not
Musk.
that. It was the fact that he said he just needs one hand. And I thought he was trying to make a sexual, jab to make fun of it.
Oh.
So I thought that was funny. And I just thought it just.
How many kids does he
gives you
have? Like 14?
13.
Kidding.
But the thing is it gives you a little inside look at how lighthearted he can take all of this that's going on. I mean, because going from a guy that's just building a humongous businesses, and he's one of the richest men in the world, right? And he's a nerd, he thinks about going to Mars, but he loves the ladies, as we can tell, because he's got a lot of kids. But he's funny. He's funny, and he enjoys his life. He's enjoying his life, and he's very intellectual. He's got all that stuff, but and he's not taking any money for doing what he's doing to try and his people are finding all this corruption and stuff. And he's got a website up. A Doge website, so people can go there and look at all the shit that they've found they're putting out on there. And I just thought that was a video I thought you guys need to see, and how lighthearted he's taken the fact that people want him dead. Just not many people can do that. Not many people can look at their life that way. And this is another video. Is this the one? Let me see, make sure I got the right one. Yeah. Okay. This is the next one I was going to play. Okay, this is, I think this is the right one. Hold on, let me make sure. I don't want to do it. Yeah, okay. This is a part of the interview with Zelensky with Trump in the White House. Okay, this is the president of the United States in the White House with the vice president sitting at his side, and this little dweeb. And how he speaks to the president of the United States. So the way it turned out at the end of the day, I think the president handled it really well. And then I have a couple videos, different points of view of what happened. And I want to play those. But let me get this big and play this. So listen.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong,
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
You will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in-
the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards. But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't. Yeah,
very
you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
wearing
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A
This
lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for
What-
the United
what
States
are
of
you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Did you hear what he said? Did you ask or say did you say thank you once? But did you see how he just never shut up? He never shut up. He never stopped talking. He constantly interrupted the president and the vice president. So let me I'm going to drop this one and then I'm going to go to the next one. Welcome, Bruce. We were hoping
Bruce!
get to see us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That was our second little video. The first one I played was just this. I think I sent you the video. It was the what's his name? Hung.
The new Department of
Hung
Navy.
Kao.
Oh, okay, yeah. And he is our Secretary of the Navy now, Undersecretary. So
Yeah.
I played his video, and it was really, really impressive that he played when he was running for office. So I played that first because I thought it was very impressive of what job our president is doing on picking people to help him run the country for the next 4 years. Then I played a video of Elon Musk on Joe Rogan's show talking about hopefully he won't die. He says that he thinks that no one will kill him because it's funnier or it's better to have him alive. It's more interesting or whatever. So I just wanted people to see that because I think that I wanted people to understand that the things that he's going through and people want to kill him over it, so I just think that it's the whole thing is just really, really pathetic where we
We're in
are.
Missouri world now.
Yeah, and I remember I kept saying that even if Trump wins and that they're not going to stop, they're going to for 4 years, we're going to have to put up with more. We hate Trump. Trump's a fascist.
That's great.
Trump's
You
a
hate Trump.
Nazi.
Like you're defending enablers and rapists. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You're a fucking real American zero. Thank you so fucking much.
Well, before I do anything with going on, I'm going to go ahead and recognize some of the people in the chat. It says Old Mountain of Chestnut. Say welcome for joining us. Yeah, politicians are crooks. Yes, for sure. And then I'm going to say baby girl's in here.
Hey, baby girl.
Six Nations. Jackie Blue stopped in and said good luck, like she always does. And then we got Grumpy Old Ninja Kadaro. Thank you for being in here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's see who else is in here. Sorry, I'm going through all these names. A common mansplaining. Hey, thank you very much for stopping in. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Let's see. How do you pronounce this name? Can you guys pronounce it?
Vanya Koshchuk. He's one of mine.
Okay.
Yeah, Vanya.
Okay. I didn't want to say his name wrong. So Vanya Koshchik. Is that close
Koshchuk.
enough?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Well,
close
thank
enough.
you for joining us tonight. Thank you for supporting your friend Orange Chat. I appreciate you stopping in. Let's see who else is in here. Okay, that's it. I can see different names right now as of right this minute. Okay, so now I'm gonna get down to let's see, get back to where I was at for my next presentation. Let's see which one I was gonna. I think it's Andrea. Where is that one?
I'm only having one cup of wine tonight, okay?
Oh, okay. It's a big one.
At the bottom.
I'm just
Okay.
I'm beside myself. Like, this is the first time anybody's ever told Zelensky get fucked. Like,
No.
I can't believe this. Like, this guy, all he does, he just runs around in a tracksuit, pretending to be a prostitute that never puts out, never delivers, never does anything. Money, 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 please, money, please. He's like that twat off of fucking what is that show? Parks and Rec. Or he's like the fucking real life or adult version fucking DSP, Dark Side Phil. That's all he does. That's all he does. I gotta pay my bills. You gotta help me.
No, but you're gonna love this. Did you guys see this video? You see this woman? She's a Ukrainian ambassador. Okay, this is her reaction watching her president.
I saw
watch
this.
this.
Because you get a ceasefire faster than
She's humiliated, and she should be. That's really, really, really sad to be in that position, to be sitting there knowing that you're the ambassador to that country in our country, and that's what they're doing. That's what he's doing to his country. He's embarrassing them because of the way he's reacting to what's going on. But
I'm happy.
Yeah,
This was a good day. This was a really good day.
Okay, well, this was another one. I wanted to play a couple of these things that I found that were funny, making fun of what happened today. So here's another one. I don't know if you guys saw this one. This is what went down in the White House between Trump and Zelensky. Here's a recap. So watch this, guys.
I think I'm entitled. I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. I have neither time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. I think I'm entitled. I don't give a damn what you think you are.
Couldn't help it. I just love this thing. But it's nice to see a president that actually stood up for our country and said what we wanted him to say all this time. And here is a woman. I want to share this woman who said the same thing. She's looking at Donald Trump differently than she's ever looked at him before. So hold on, watch this. You guys seen this? Now
Holy
listen.
light socket.
Please tell me you saw the interaction between Trump, JD, and Zelensky. I have never, ever been attracted to Trump. Not even like his personality. There was never a moment where I was like, oh my God, that changed today. Yell at me, Donnie. My God, that's fucking weird. But go watch it. You know, we've seen him be aggressive with the media and other people, but never like another president, especially one who's been abusing the fuck out of us for billions of dollars and a bunch of years.
I know a lady who's going to get some new D-cells tonight.
I know, but this is just great. I just love this girl, and I'm like, I'm
Trump's making lesbians straight again. All right, let's go, brothers.
I just thought it was so adorable because she had the balls.
Now,
to
Trump,
make a video
start with
and
all the
post
hot
it
Latinas.
online with her
Big
own
booty Latinas. Big booty
point
lesbian
of view.
Latinas. Make it
Fine.
nice.
That's the attitude he had. That's the attitude I love. Why the fuck am I attracted to a 78-year-old man right now? Is sick. I'm here for it though. Zelensky definitely had a boner. It was probably internal, but go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. We are so fucking back.
Oh my God.
Please tell
You're
me.
so
You wanna know
fucking
what
back. So,
You want to know what
love
I
that.
find? I mean, she's absolutely right that this dude's been abusing us for years, because ever since the first time he was at the White House, he's like, we are going to need billions monthly. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're not going to get a cent from us. Got it. That is what I would have said in 2021. And I would earn, if he would have double taked, I would have said, you don't get to extort us.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to help you, sure, with an aid package.
Right.
But Europe, you're going to step your shit up. Because here's the thing. It's not our land that is in danger from Russia. Step up your fucking defenses and get your asses over there. Because we are not sacrificing our soldiers to fight this war. It's not our fucking war. By the way, Ukraine isn't a member of NATO. So, yeah, here's another argument against Ukraine becoming a member of NATO. The motherfucker is a dictator, for one. Two, he extorted countries for vanity projects.
Oh, my God.
For photo shoots and for fucking concerts. I remember those, folks. And why the fuck would I want to support a country that literally showed their military beating on children for telling jokes about sympathizing with Russia? Yeah, I'm sorry. I ain't into that. I'm not, or if I see a military person, especially one of the U.S. military, beating on a child of our U.S. country for telling a joke, not only would I go after that fucking military person, but I'd also make sure that his fucking superiors find out about his abuse of a child.
Yeah. Yep. I was shocked, but I was proud. I was so proud to have a president that's willing to tell him to fuck off and die, basically. To get fucking out of here. And after he left, because he was pissed off because he didn't get what he wanted, he called and said, I changed my mind. I want to come back and sign the stuff. And our president said, no.
Nope. You fucked up. You done fucked up, AA Ron.
I was so happy. I mean, I haven't smiled this much in 4 years over the last thing. I mean, it was so depressing. It was so hard to deal with some of this stuff. And I'm not saying they're going to not make any mistakes, because people are already bitching about the whole Pam Bondi thing. But
this is a president we can look at with pride, or look upon with pride. This is one who we know just stood up for the American people and said, you know what, if you're not going to fucking, or if you're not going to show respect, get the hell out of my house and get the fuck out of my country.
Yeah.
No, instead he runs the fucking Fox News, I believe it was, or News Nation. And they even asked him, it's like, do you owe President Trump an apology? Hell, fucking yes, he does.
I thought it was great. So I'm proud of him. I feel like it's made a big difference. But this is the next one I wanted to share. So let's watch this right here. Let me make it bigger and turn it up. There we go.
McCallum is back with us, and also Shannon Bream joining our coverage, Fox News Sunday anchor. And Shannon, you were in an interesting situation where you happened to be at the White House when all this was going down. What were you able to see?
Yeah, so I was over there for a meeting with some of my team from Fox News Sunday on something completely unrelated to President Zelensky being there today. We came out of that meeting, and I got to tell you, the SUV that was there by the West Wing to take President Zelensky was pulled up at that point. Now, we had not heard what had happened in the Oval, but you're looking around and there's a ton of press there. There are foreign delegations there, and there's a little bit of a kind of a shell-shocked look. And as we're making our way to get ready to exit the White House campus, we hear somebody say, I think they're canceling the press conference. And I thought, oh no, this did not go well. I don't know what just happened in there, but this obviously did not go down well. And there was all kinds of scattering and chattering and kind of a little bit of a feeling of, wow, this did not go as expected. So we hadn't planned to be there for part of this, but it was clear in the aftermath that people immediately knew this was kind of a make or break moment that had not gone well for President Zelensky. You see him there in our video showing that's where the SUV was pulled up and waiting for him. So at that point, the play out of what we've all now gotten to watch hadn't happened yet. But what had happened in the Oval Office had certainly trickled through to everybody out there while we had been in our meeting.
So, Shannon, I want to cue up this moment here. Vance calls Zelensky disrespectful. This is when the two of them were going at it. Watch here.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
So what I think is really important to understand, Martha, and what is relevant is the context by which those comments were given. These three men had been talking for at least 30 minutes prior to that moment. And it was Vance and Trump's judgment that Zelensky did not come into that meeting with the proper posture.
Agreed. It takes a while to boil to the point of what we saw. And from what we're hearing from the White House, they, as you say, Bill, did not like his attitude, essentially, his body language, eye rolling. He was clearly very frustrated. And I think that perhaps he was not in the right frame of mind to do a peace deal that begins with an economic arrangement. Remember, this mineral deal, this is just step one. I mean, as President Trump has said several times over the past few days, there are a lot of steps. You know, every time someone brought up peacekeepers, he would say, you know what? That's a nice thing to talk about, but we are nowhere near that yet. And we know how much further away Russia is on all of this. As I mentioned before, they want a new election. They want Zelensky gone. They want a Ukraine military that is shrunk and not allowed to get any bigger. They do not want any European peacekeepers in the country. So these two sides are extremely far apart. But this mineral deal was supposed to be the step that was going to get them closer. We heard the tough language of President Trump a few days ago, calling Zelensky a dictator when he refused to sign this mineral deal. So this deal is what President Trump has seen as the necessary step to get to the next few steps, of which there are many.
I want to pause it for a second. Okay. How many times in any of your lifetimes have we had a president that expected to get something in return for us funding a war for another person to protect themselves or whatever, or another country, and send them weapons and tanks and, you know, bombs, planes, whatever it is we've been sending? How many times in your lifetime have you seen one of our presidents ask for money in return or something of value to pay back the American taxpayers that are funding a war that has nothing to do with us, really? I want to ask any of you if you know.
I mean, Janet, let's just look at the problem here. Is that there's a lot of Ukrainian babes that are just wanting to come over to America and marry American men. And if we will just give Zelensky billions and billions of dollars, that'll help pave the way for these drug cartels to get a hold of these women that are going to be betrothed to some loser in a basement somewhere in Kansas that wants a Ukrainian hot babe.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll take all of his money and go back to Ukraine.
But I don't know of any presidents, do you guys, that have ever asked for anything back? Just like when Trump's first term, remember, he pulled us out of the climate accord and a few other things, and it was a waste of our time, because if we're the only ones, the only country playing the bulk of everything, how are we helping ourselves? What are we getting out of it? They hate us. They send their people here and they say death to America, blah, blah, blah. And we don't do anything. And we just keep sending them money. I mean, look at the trillions and billions of dollars we're going to end up finding out that our government has been taken from us, our veterans, all of us workers that's been sweating over our land to feed our people, you know, to build things for our people in our country. And they're taking your money and they're sending it to other countries under the guise of us being charity or whatever it is, but lying to us. The ones they're getting the money from, because if they would have asked us for this money, we would have said, hell no, put that money in our streets, in our schools, in our cities, in our towns, and back to our veterans and the homeless.
Janet, we're not lying to you, honey. We're just kind of like trying to ease this one in a little bit, trying to fit a ham candle into like a 1-inch opening, and it's really tight. It's not going to fit well. We got to ask the taxpayer to spread it a little easier for us, because this is something that everybody's got to help share the burden. A free Ukraine means a free society everywhere. That's the goal.
I am proud to have a president that is finally putting us, the taxpayers, the ones who've been paying the bill for our whole lives since the day we were old enough to get a job. We have been paying for them to waste our money. Okay. And when we have homeless people, we have people in all kinds of horrible positions simply because there's no money, because they've wasted it. And we're trying to fight, and we got a president in there and a vice president. I mean, that was presidential, the way our VP handled this situation.
Obviously, you didn't understand. We had problems with getting everything set aside for our daughter. And so we had to ask people to help out in Haiti and also for our daughter's wedding. And so it worked out pretty well for everybody. I mean, Chelsea's wedding was beautiful, and Haiti's still there. It looks like a shithole, but it's still there. I mean, come on. We did good.
But yeah, I'm proud. Right today, I'm very proud. I'm so proud that he won. I'm so proud.
And they tripped up on the first step today in a major, major way. And I would imagine that they're trying to patch this thing back together in at least for this, just for the mineral deal, right? 50-50, let's do some mining. Let's start some economic intervention here and see where we can go from there.
Yeah, and Shannon, while there's the news conference is canceled, as far as we know, Brett says that the interview that he has with President Zelensky tonight is still on for 6 o'clock Eastern time. So there could be some sort of, messaging, obviously, to the White House through that interview. We'll be listening for that. But here was more from that exchange inside the Oval. This is President Trump telling Zelensky, you don't have the cards right now. Listen.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling with the
president
lives of
anymore.
millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to you.
Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
I mean, Shannon, you can't say enough, how meaningful this is and remarkable this is for the American public to have witnessed these exchanges.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure that that's in everyone's best interest. I mean, we've all talked about it. Martha's talked about, President Xi is watching this. President Putin is watching this. We know all of Europe is watching this. Now, we know that this is how these guys talk to each other behind closed doors. That's what they do. It gets rough and tumble. I've never seen anything like this from the Oval Office. I'm not sure any of us ever have seen anything close to this. It is the way that they talk to each other behind closed doors. But remember, there's been growing frustration with the Trump administration, ongoing with President Zelensky. That's not a secret. But there's been reporting here this week in Washington about how they actually feel about this. One person being quoted, who's part of the negotiation, saying that essentially they've created a monster, meaning the way that the Biden administration dealt with him, he felt like there would be open-ended, unlimited support in many ways from the U.S. And so now he's hitting a brick wall where there is going to be a different level of accountability and a different sheriff in town running the show. But there's very much a feeling from this administration that the way that President Zelensky was handled during the Biden administration has created new problems for them as they try to wrap this thing up.
Shannon, thanks so much. If you get more, come on back, okay? Otherwise, we'll see you on Fox News Sunday.
Thanks, Shannon.
Martha, thank you so much for your contribution.
Awesomeness. They did a great job explaining and basically getting us to understand what happened, especially if we missed the interview. But yeah, I've never seen anything like it in the open. We always get little tidbits of this and that afterward, but that right there was freaking awesome to see. Transparency, to actually see what kind of crap that our president, our vice president, and other officials have to deal with when we're trying to defend our country and get something out of the money that they expect to get. Honestly, I think they should give us 50% of all the mining now just to pay us back for all the money we wasted over there all this time. I think I wish there was a way that we could make them give it to us anyways, without being, like trying to take over their country or anything. But the thing is, I'm proud of President Trump and the way that our VP handled it too, very presidential. And man, if he keeps doing that kind of stuff, I'm going to vote for him when he runs in the next election for the president, because I was proud of him.
Everybody does ask about will you vote for Vance in 2028? And it's like, I have to see how he's doing as a vice president first. And after that one bit there, it's like, he's just put a few points on the board that will get me to vote for him.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly how I feel about it. But I thought it was really, really good. And I hope, I can't wait. I mean, every single time Trump does something like this, it just puts another nail in the coffin for all the others that hate him, to me, because he is proving all of us right. At least that's how I feel about it. But this next thing I saw was another shocker. I mean, this actually shocked me coming from this person, because I have never seen this man act like this. Now, I don't know, you guys might have, but you can tell me if there is another video out there. I'd like to see it, because the big balls is spreading. That's all I can say. Did you guys see this? Senator Lindsey Graham and his reaction to what happened in there.
Yeah,
so if you hadn't seen it, it's great.
It's such bullshit.
I know, but other countries are seeing this, and that's what we need. This is the kind of conversations other countries need to see us having.
All right. So, what I think, complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine times since the war. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelensky this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance standing up for our country. We want to
He's such a fucking suck up.
office was disrespectful.
Yes, he is.
Ever do business with
This dude
again.
I
think most
when
of
Zelensky freaking called for aid, this dude fucking pissed himself because he decided to throw the money at Ukraine instead of saying no. This dude is a fucking suck up.
Okay, but the thing is that people are seeing him suck up, right? After seeing all the other,
they're seeing, Lindsey Graham is taking a stand. Lindsey Graham is so cool. No, their memories are so fucking short that most people are thinking that way.
No, I was proud to see it.
So many are. I'm sorry, Janet. But so many
all
are
right. What I'm trying
memory.
to say is, I'm proud to see it, because when you have just like I said, I didn't vote for Biden, and I did not vote for Clinton, and I did not vote for Obama, but I never would go up in public, especially when another country could hear me, and badmouth them. I said, I don't agree with him, but he's my president. That's the kind of stuff that I'm saying. This guy and others like him, just like we've been seeing in the Senate, right, with them talking and interviewing these people that have been running for the different, parts of the government that we're trying to put in. To me, knowing other countries are watching these people lie day after day after day, saying lies that they know are lies, and nothing's happening. It's hard to deal with that. But to see someone come out, which I thought he was going to come out here and say, they need us, we need to support Zelensky.
We need to support our friends. We need to support our friends in Ukraine.
I was shocked. And I was like, yeah, he's a suck up, but he's good at sucking up. And I'm hoping that
I've been a senator for over 30 years, Janet. Don't you think I know how this atomic two-step goes?
I know that's what I was gonna say. You know, he putting his hat on and he's gonna do a sidestep. You know what I mean? From that movie that
I've been here before. I know this. I know this job. I know what I'm doing.
yeah, he does. He knows what he's doing. But I
I'm
just
Lindsey Graham.
this is actually pretty good what he's saying, and to see him eat crow, I'm telling you, people like me,
I've
Orange
always
Hat,
stood behind Trump. I've always stood behind
I
Trump.
loved it. I loved watching him eat crow. His whole plate. He ate the whole thing, and he even licked the plate when he was done. That's what's so good about it. But let's
not
go.
want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top.
I was surprised. I had to pop a blue pill so I could enjoy an election. I love President Trump.
Do a deal with
My
the
name is
United
Lindsey
States.
Graham.
After what I saw, I don't know.
What do you need to do, sir? Senator Graham.
Hey, Janet, pause it real quick.
He was shocked. He was.
See y'all. Put your mouse all over the dudes. Like you got Lindsey in front, and then the other dude. Yeah, that guy. Then the guy to the left, and another guy to the left. What's the common denominator here? What do they all do? What are they all wearing?
Beta males.
They all have the blue and the yellow colors. Bullshit.
But they also are wearing a fucking suit. Fuck! For the billions of dollars Zelensky's got, he's never been to a Goodwill and got a goddamn suit.
Yeah. There is a video out there. If Orange Hat, if you can get it or find it, it would be great. There was a video, and I was gonna use it tonight because of what's going on, but I couldn't find it again. It was when Zelensky showed up at the White House and he's first getting out of the limousine, and Trump says, "Look, he's all dressed up." I just thought it was hilarious because he got a good dig in at the very beginning because he's wearing the exact same shit he wears no matter where he goes. It's like
fucking time he goes out.
Don't you have a suit? He said, "Don't you have a suit?" He asked him.
he was. It was just funny.
I will
because
wear a costume when the war's over. It's like, dude, you're gonna fucking wear a suit when you come to the goddamn White House.
Well, it was fun.
Guys, to give you an idea, I wear denim when I go out. Unless I'm doing work at the house, then I'll fucking go out in sweatpants. I don't give a fuck. But if I'm going to a formal event, you're damn right I'm gonna wear what's needed for the formal event. When you're going to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, it's required for you to dress in your best dress, in your best attire, because you are showing that you have respect for the president's home. So yeah, Zelensky going in there in his warrior attire. Dude, you're not at war with us. You fucking dress to the nines or you get the fuck out.
Well, has Fetterman ever been to the White House? I've never seen him.
No,
wearing
he
a-
has not. And he won't be because he keeps on dressing in his fucking shorts and hoodie.
Yeah, a hoodie, and it's why? Has anybody ever asked him, why don't you ever wear a suit?
That man is a fucking giant, by the way. Like me. Well, I'm not a 6'8" giant, but yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention putting on all that many clothes. I mean, as much as I think Fetterman is actually getting a little bit more respect due to his moderation or the fact that he's a little bit more moderate than he used to be, still he should start respecting the decorum.
Someone says Fetterman did wear a suit once. To his wedding?
He's starting to wear suits at or when he's in the what's it called? Capitol.
So I don't know. I guess wearing a hoodie and jogging pants is better than him wearing a skirt. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But it's terrible. But let me finish this real quick.
Very upbeat. I told Zelensky, we'll talk about security guarantees. We'll talk about ceasefires and how the war ends. This is a process. You have a new relationship with America. a $500 billion, $500 billion deal that President Trump is proud of, that gives us an interest worth defending. Let's talk about the positive. But he was terrible at Munich, Zelensky, and I think he has made it almost impossible to sell to the American people that he's a good investment, that he is a good business.
Last question. Senator Graham. Senator, a number of European... Hey, one at a time. One at a time.
It's the only time Senator Graham feels alive.
Do you think President Zelensky needs to resign to resume these peace talks?
He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
Thank you.
You want to know a question I would have asked? Given how much ass you've kissed to Zelensky and Ukraine, how chap are your lips? That's
There's
what I would
kids
fucking
fighting
ask
in his
him.
throat right now.
Yeah, someone should have handed him a little thing of chapstick and said, "Here you go for the ass kissing that you
For
just
all the
did."
ass kissing you've done with all the ass kissing you just
my
did to the
God.
U.S. after all the ass kissing you did to the Ukraine over the last 4 fucking years, dude. I'm sorry. How we've seen all that you did over the last 4 years. Ukraine is love. Ukraine is life. And it's like, I'm sorry, dude.
All of that. You talk out of both sides of your mouth. It's the Potomac two-step. It's what you do all the time. It's how I make my money.
Well, good for you. That's not how I make my money. I make my money on being blunt. Although I do not make money on YouTube, but I make, or when it comes to me,
nobody makes money on YouTube. Talk to me when you get
No, some people do.
I'm fully eligible to. I'm fully eligible to. I just choose not to.
Okay, well, here's
Fully able to,
another.
I just choose not to.
Here's another point of view from watching the whole fiasco at the White House that I haven't heard from him in a while. I haven't heard from Crowder in a while, and I saw this come across my timeline. I was like, I'm going to listen to him, see what he has to say. So here we go. This is his his take is on what happened. Make sure it's turned up. Here we go.
Just watched the exchange with Zelensky and President Trump. Vance, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Have you?
No. Not in public.
Not in public. Look, here's the thing. Okay, and people want to act like you're either Ukraine or you're Russia, you're Putin. I can't stand Putin. Do I think he's former KGB? Yeah. Do I think he's a totalitarian? Yeah. Do I think he's interested in freedom? Absolutely not. Don't like the way that he went into Ukraine. I think he'll take anything he can get. All right. But Zelensky is more indicative of the pervasive problem that we're dealing with, whether it's NATO, whether it's the UN, whether it's the rest of Europe, whether it's Canada. This idea that it's a never-ending supply of support from the United States while you bitch about it. It has to start with some semblance of truth, okay? Without the United States, guess what? You're Russia, Ukraine. That was the law of the land. That's what happened. Stronger nations conquered weaker nations. All of these modern comforts that people take for granted, they're entirely supported by the United States and our military. Not a nation in Europe, certainly not Ukraine, certainly not Canada. And that is the mindset that emboldens people like Putin, because they know at a certain point that well runs dry. Does that make sense? Does that make someone pro-Russia to acknowledge there's no winning here, and there's certainly no winning without the United States? And if you accept those truths, probably not a good idea to walk into the Oval Office and be a dick. Here's how you know he's not being honest. First off, everything is a photo. He rubs me the wrong way, okay? Can't stand Putin. Got it? Zelensky rubs me the wrong way. Why? Because he's walking around in the same outfit like he's cartoon Steve Jobs, and he's working for a book deal after this. None of it seems genuine. And he sits and he says, we have been strong since day one, and we have been alone. They haven't been strong since day one. They've been getting, this has been a shellacking, and everyone has been with them since day one. None of those statements are honest. How many Ukraine flags on X, on Instagram? How many hundreds of billions of dollars, largely from the United States and other nations, for you to say, oh, maybe you haven't been alone? Please, thank you. These are the words that people might like to hear when you come to our motherfucking Oval Office.
I loved it. That was good. And people need to hear this shit. People need to realize that we're sick of it. You know, other people need to hear us saying we're proud of what Trump did. You know what I mean? Because I
Most
am.
of us are.
Yeah.
I walk
and
down
that's
my
good.
timeline on Twitter, and I see about 20 or 30 people that they're breaking through the algorithm, getting a little bit of traction, saying I'm completely with Trump. And as much as I don't have a problem with Ukraine, I have a problem with Zelensky. And that's, you can be against Zelensky and not be pro Putin. You know, I mean, I think that's something that we're not hearing a lot of, but we could use that delineation a bit. You know, you can be anti-Zelensky and not be for Russia in their little war effort, their little conflict. And I think that would be. Go ahead.
Earlier, I had a little debate with fucking Dangerville, Alistair from Dangerville on Twitter. I gave my thoughts on the whole thing. It's like, dude, first off, he fucking disrespected the Oval Office. Secondly, I'm not going to support somebody who is trying to defend his country yet does a fucking full incursion into Russian territory back in August. So yeah, I'm sorry. This man extorted countries for his gain, and yet he can't even hold on to his fucking the money that was given to him, because apparently he lost over $100 billion that was sent to him. And he's like, oh, I know you're not blaming Ukraine for this. It's like, no, I don't like Putin. I don't like fucking Zelensky. But I do acknowledge that Russia did start this. There's no doubt that Russia started this, folks. We can all acknowledge that. We can all agree upon that. But the point is, Zelensky, if you are defending your country, you don't cross borders in your skirmishes. You push them back and out. You do not go further into theirs. That's when you go too far. That is when you are an aggressor. You don't fucking do that if you are trying to defend your country.
Didn't they sink a fucking Russian carrier? Didn't they sink some big
I believe
Russian
so.
ship?
I can't remember though.
What I saw in Zelensky's appearance in the White House, to me, as a mother, as an American, American woman that's had a job and seen her dad and other people fight for this country and expect something when they get out, like healthcare and help, when they need glasses or they need to go to the doctor or need a prescription. And that's what they earned by giving a part of their life to our government and to protect the rest of us that didn't join the military. And to know that this much money went to this person and his country, supposedly to be spent to defend themselves, not on yachts and parties and homes and jewelry and stuff like that. He sure seemed awful
smug,
unthankful. He seemed like, where is my stuff? I want my money. That's what he seemed like to me. A spoiled,
Well, that's because
rotten brat.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
He was getting a blank check for the last 4 fucking
know.
years.
And
And
he
it's
was
like,
sharing
guess
it with
what?
whoever else he was supposed to share it with. But that's what I saw. And it was nice to see him.
Thank you, Medi.
Down
Thank you, Logic's Finest. I knew they sank something. They sank the Kuznetsov.
Oh, did I click on the
Yeah.
wrong one? I'm sorry.
Kuznetsov or Kuznetsov.
Yeah, they kind of. That's kind of a big deal. You drop one of those in the harbor, you're kind of a big motherfucker. But then, like, his entire follow up on that has been nothing but give me money, 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 give me money. That's all he does.
I mean,
why do you say that word?
All of these
I mean,
people
it sounds like
think
cousin
we are
nuts.
an open wallet, and why wouldn't these people think that? Because behind our backs, all of us that didn't know about USAID and what they were doing with the money because we kept thinking, God, it seems like we raise more money, we raise more money, we give them more money, we give them more money, we're giving them more money. We need more money for this city or this project. If we just had more money, we could fix this problem. That's what we've heard our whole lives.
They're just the filter. They're just the filter with all the money.
We were giving them the money, and they were giving it to others and not benefiting our country with the money that we worked our asses off for. So it's nice to be first for a change. You know, it's nice for our president to put us, the taxpayers, first, and to put him, knock him down a few notches. And I'm thankful that we saw it, that this wasn't done behind closed doors. I'm proud to have seen it. And I think we should see more of it. Our people deserve to see what actually goes on in these deals.
Who was the guy in the back standing behind Vance that he says in the middle of it all is like, why do you always come wearing this? Why don't you wear a suit? Don't you have a suit?
I know, I love that.
That was my favorite part of this entire exchange, was when one of the fucking Statler and Waldorf guys in the background fucking stood up to Zelensky and was like, hey, got a question. You always come here dressed like Adam Sandler. Stop it.
It's sad. It's really sad that they don't have respect for the White House at all. I mean, look what we've had. Okay, think about it. Look what we've had going in and out of the White House. Men wearing women's clothes. Okay, naked people on Easter Sunday on the White House grounds.
But what about the time there was a butt sex in the Senate? Janet? Come on.
That going on in the Senate, and White House being used for people snorting coke. You're just leaving their coke laying around.
That was not Hunter's coke. If it was Hunter's coke, it would have been in Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
That was somebody else's coke. He gave that away.
So basically, how it ended was the president got a phone call, supposedly, after, a sex club. It's not. But he got a phone call from Zelensky after he left. He stormed out because he was pissed off that he didn't get the money he wanted from us. Because we have a president with some balls that said no to him. And he got pissed. And when he called and said, I changed my mind, I'm ready to sign the contract. And Trump said, no. I love it. I absolutely love this. So I'm glad we got a president with some balls and he's fighting for us and he's trying to get the best deal. So I'm really happy. I'm beside myself. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to sleep tonight. I'm so pumped up over this whole thing because it's awesomeness. Okay.
Somebody in Fort Smith is going to get a booty call at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I wish. No, not going to happen. But let's see. This next article I thought was pretty good. I think this is it. Yeah. Now, this isn't about Zelensky. It's about another topic that I thought was important that we should talk about. Have you guys seen this? Here. Why would Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Doge want to know if federal workers are working? Okay, this is some stuff that's been uncovered after they sent out the stuff asking people to show what they've done, 4 bullet points or whatever, right? So this lady is going to tell us about, this is from the Department of Veterans Affairs building portfolio. She's going to tell us about it. So let's listen to this. Very interesting. And you know how I am with veterans. I think our veterans should get money before a lot of these wasteful spending that we're seeing to other countries. If we don't have the money to take care of our veterans, don't be sending money to another country where we don't have Americans, that are getting the money. Here we go.
Why would President Trump want to know if you're working? I want to share some statistics and from a friend of mine who works at the Department of Veterans Affairs, and I want to be very sensitive because he shared some information that it was internally used only. And this is from the Department of Veterans Affairs building portfolio. All right, so 810 Vermont Avenue is a GSA-owned building, and a GSA-owned building means that it's a General Services Administration, and the Department of Veterans Affairs rent that each month. So 810 Vermont Avenue is a 618,000 square foot building. It has 2,483 seats, meaning that's how many staff they can fit. And the monthly rent is $27.2 million, and that's a month. Their average logins from those staff, and they're pretty packed, my friend says, is 387 people average logging in every month. And that building is sitting at a 16% occupancy rate. So we're paying $27.2 million a month for that building with 16% occupancy rate. Now there's 7 buildings that I'm going to share with you. 811 Vermont Avenue, another GSA-owned building, 266,000 square feet, 1,294 seats, $13 million a month rent, 124 average logins, a 10% occupancy rate. 18,000 G Street, it's a leased building, 207,000 square feet, 1,243 seats, $11.3 million a month rent, and the average logins of those staff is 146 per month, and an 11% occupancy rate. 1100 First Street, another leased building, 48,000 square feet, 190 seats, $2.4 million a month rent, 55 average logins, and that building has a 20% occupancy rate. 1575 I Street is a leased building. Now this building is in the process of lease termination. So that's nice. So the 37,000 square feet, 156 seats, $1.7 million a month rent, but that building is being terminated. 425 I Street is a leased building, 175,000 square feet, 582 seats, $12.7 million a month rent, 60 average logins, and 10% occupancy rate. 801 I Street is a leased building, 18,000 square feet, 86 seats, $1.1 million a month rent, and 8 average logins, and it's sitting at a 9% occupancy rate. So, yeah, I think that tells a story. I mean, tell me it doesn't tell a story. My friend says that they're pretty heavily staffed, and I know every time there's a job opening, he shares it, and it gets staffed pretty quickly. The government loves to staff at the max capacity if they can, and yeah. So share your thoughts if you want, or not. I don't care. But that's the Department of Veterans Affairs building portfolio.
Amazing. And you could hear what she was saying, that we're paying $2.something million a month for a building that has 16% of the people that are supposed to work there even showing up for work. Okay. So then you have all these people, like I showed last week. Remember the protest of the people in the street in New York, mad because they want to get rid of Doge, and they didn't even know what they're protesting. And when he said that the different things he brought up, they were like, huh? Because they don't know shit. And that's the sad truth, is that we are wasting all this money that should be going to actually help our veterans, yet why are we paying $2 million a month for a building? See what I mean? It's ridiculous. We need to get rid of these big buildings and go to the towns, each of the little towns, and put a small office and get a couple people that actually live and work with these people, and then give them the money to help these veterans in the towns. I mean, it's sad because I know in the state of Arkansas, you have to drive sometimes 2 hours to get to somewhere to go to see a doctor that accepts veterans, a VA hospital or VA clinic. Instead, remember when Trump was president the first time, he said, why shouldn't our vets get to go to any doctor they want? Like if you live in a small town and you have a doctor in your town, why shouldn't you be able to see that doctor and let our government pay that doctor for you to see that doctor because you're a veteran, right? Such bullshit and waste when we can fix it in our own states by just letting our veterans see the doctors near them, instead of having to drive all the way to the state capitol or whatever every time they got to go to the eye doctor or need care. Because then if they can't drive themselves, someone else has to take off from work and take this person, sit there all day, then get them their prescriptions or whatever, and then take them back home. It's just, it's ridiculously, it's stupid. And there's simple things that we can do to make it cheaper and save taxpayers money. And if you already have the budget set up, then take the money that you save and put it back in to do different things for the veterans. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think it's sad and pathetic to see how bad off our country really is because people have become so lazy. I used to say over and over again, the reason why the cheating started so bad and it became so easy to cheat when it came to voting is because people wouldn't go take off or whatever, or the women that weren't working didn't sign up to work the polls. So you go in, it looks like geriatric center because there's no young people to work the polls, right? So there's not enough people. And what do they say? Well, if we get machines, we don't have to have people. See?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we got the machines, people, because people wouldn't get off their ass and go and work the polls. Okay. If you work the polls, you don't need machines because you have actual people to count and work. So there's so many things we can do, but the only way we can do this is by you starting in your communities and bring it up at city council meetings or whatever. Hey, we want to try to do something. How much do our veterans have to pay to rent this building? I mean, that kind of stuff. Try to find out better ways to
get involved in your local neighborhood. I should go back and introduce Ebola to Laredo. Never mind, just kidding.
Oh.
In Minecraft, playing the thing. Bruce, where's Bruce?
What did you guys think about that? Did you guys realize that we were spending that much money?
I knew there. I knew it was corrupt. I didn't know how corrupt it was.
Oh, it's bad.
It's worse than I thought.
Yeah. Doesn't shock me.
I was shocked. I really was. $2 million a month. I still can't get over it. Any building where you're paying $2 million a month and there's 16% of the workers that are supposed to be there, that's all that's clocking in after a month. And
Janet, you're just being hateful. You're just being hateful, Janet. You're not.
I know. I'm such a bitch. I can't help it. It just pisses me.
You want to know why it doesn't shock me?
Yeah.
Who did we have? Who was our last president?
Well,
who was our last president?
Biden.
Yeah. Is it any shock that lazy diaper stain said that people could just stay at home and work from home?
Mm-hmm. And he told our veterans to get on welfare if they couldn't afford to buy food.
Oh, Janet, there's an entire video about veterans not being able to procure food on base. Do you know about this video yet?
No.
Oh, God. Well, basically what it means is that government gives you, Janet, $10 to spend, but all $10 of that has to go to an Army service member. The active duty guys have to have this money for DFAC.
Mm-hmm.
And this man named Angry Cops broke it down and bludgeoned it so bad. This is the greatest video against why you might ever want to have a member in the service nowadays. There's $151 million stolen from DOD that was supposed to go into our current active duty people. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Let me pull this. This is a classic video.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But yeah, I was shocked. I had to listen to it a couple times because at first I thought it was a a joke. I was like, what? There's no way we pay $2 million a month.
There. Private chat. You got the YouTube link.
Okay, hold on.
For Andrew Cox. He goes through it. It's kind of painstaking. It's kind of long. But if you want to milk one video, you can milk this video. It's good.
Okay, well, let me get it. I got to get it past the ads and stuff real quick. Okay, now I'm going to pause it. All right.
Not veterans, active duty told that. I'm sorry. Fucking the active duty guys aren't getting fed because like the Post has their fucking mess halls shutting down at weird times. They don't have things going on when they should.
So you ready?
You guys ready for this? This might be new to some of you, but it's what's going on right now for active duty guys.
Food services. It is now advising soldiers to apply for benefits formerly known as food stamps.
United States military posts have been stealing, misappropriating, and transferring funds supposed to be to feed their troops to the sum of over $150 million from the $225 million that was collected to literally feed the troops. Anybody good at math here? Air Force, you want to chalk that up for me? Is that over half?
Do math.
It's more than half. So more than half of the money secured to feed their troops has gone to United States military posts, and nobody's been able to track it. It's just gone to whatever fund that they want. Not even spent on something related like the dining facility or food trucks. Nope, just gone. Fairy dust. Now, before I break down each post and the amount of money it, what I say, stole from its troops, first, a word from this video's sponsor. Sheath is underwear. But it's not just underwear. It's got pockets in it for your balls. Why are those underwears not in the bag? Because I wear them. These are worn.
Okay. How do I know?
Right there. Right there. Go, right there.
Food budget. So who's done really well? Well, only using 49% of its funds to feeding its troops is Fort Bliss, Texas, who used 11 million out of 22 million. And a close second place, spending 48% of its funds on feeding its troops, is Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Back to Bragg. Nice. 16.6 million out of its 34.6 million. Wow. Here's where it starts to get depressing. Only using 30% of the funds allocated to the post for feeding its troops is Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. How much do they get? Well, they spent $5.3 million out of its allotted $14.5. It's almost $10 million just sitting there in somebody's pocket. Next is Fort Wainwright in Alaska, spending $3 million out of the collected $9 million. 33% on the dot. I know how to math. 28% Fort Campbell, Kentucky. At 27%, that's Fort Cavazos, Texas. Used to be Fort Hood. You remember Fort Hood? I remember Fort Hood. And tied at 27% is Fort Riley, Kansas. $5.1 million it spent out of 18 million. Wow, leaving a lot on the table. Or actually, I should say, taking a lot off the table because the troops aren't getting that money for their food, are they? Fort Carson, Colorado, 5 million out of 22 million. What's that percentage? 22%? Oh, we're getting down to less than a quarter. Under a quarter. Welcome to the great state of New York with Fort Drum spending 21%, 3.9 out of its $18.2 million. Wow, nice. Saving 15 mil instead of feeding your troops. And the worst number one offender, Fort Stewart, Georgia, only using 12% of its funds collected to feed its troops. A whopping $2.1 million out of $17 million. If you're hungry at Fort Stewart, we all know why.
That's terrible. And isn't that the same state that had Fannie Willis and what was the other woman's name? I can't remember the other woman that got like $40 billion from USAID. I wonder if
Oh,
they had
Stacey
anything.
Abrams.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams. Isn't she from Georgia?
Fort Drum. Stefanik. Where the fuck are you? Oh wait, that's right. You're UN ambassador. Shit. She actually used to be quite on top of shit that goes down in Fort Drum, but if she's letting our fucking troops starve, that's pretty fucking sad.
I have no idea what this means, but maybe he can explain it to us. Oh no, that's the wrong one. There, this one.
21% of their
Not as sexy as they claim. Imagine a fruit roll-up melted on your junk. Scratching that. Some might dig it. What's this? Why is he saying this?
Six Nations, could you elaborate in a more comprehensive matter that doesn't sound like it belongs in a fucking B-rate porn movie?
Yeah, what does this mean? I don't understand. I'm trying to read the chat as fast as I can to keep up. But oh, someone put up here gummy panties. Okay, I think that's why. Okay, that's what they were saying. All right, that was higher up. Sorry about that. I was
Okay,
just
fruit roll-ups
shocked.
in panty form. Okay.
I was shocked by that. But yeah, this is terrible. These numbers are awful. Well, how are we going to ever find out where this money went? Do you think Doge will find out about this?
Oh, I think that Pete Hegseth just allowed them into the Pentagon. So I'm hoping that does come to light.
Yeah, because I saw one of his not interviews, but he did like a speech to some of his people, and he said by the end of his 4 years, he wants to be able to pass an actual budget or whatever what is it called? An audit for the military, and he wants to pass one. So that's his goal. I think that's a wonderful goal since I don't think we've ever passed one before, have we?
Over the last 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, so that would be that's a good goal to set to try to pass one, and I hope we can get close or pass. That would be really good. But okay, I'm gonna go back to the video. It's sad that we are wasting that much money.
Now, these numbers come from fiscal year 2024, which starts on October 1st, 2023, and then wraps all the way around to the last day of September 2024. So these numbers are fresher than the eggs at the salad bar in the dining facility. So less than 6 months ago, we got these numbers back. And well, people are upset, especially guys who have been getting a lot of social media DMs about food shortages going on for the past several years on military posts. But when soldiers' checks, is it USAID? Not USAID! Let's start with the education portion of this, shall we? All this money is collected from something called BAS. Simply put, BAS is money for food, and each soldier receives BAS in one of two ways. One way is, let's say you live off post, or you qualify to receive BAS directly into your paycheck, meaning your base pay is, let's say, $10, and your BAS is $5. Your BAS will then go on top of your base pay, $15 now, we're mathing, and goes into your bank account. And then you can spend that money on groceries or however you see fit. But it's supposed to assist you in purchasing food for yourself. Now, the second way, the way we're focusing on today, you see, the second way that you receive BAS is as an allotment that doesn't even go into your paycheck, but it is notated on your pay stub, or in the military we call it LES, leave an earnings statement. And your post takes that from you before it even touches your bank account. An example would be your base pay is $10 again, and your BAS is $5, but you never receive that $5. It goes to the post that you're at, and they say, we've got Private Richard High here. He has BAS given to us, the post, and therefore, when he goes to a dining facility, he doesn't have to pay. We've already received his BAS money to feed him at our dining facilities on post. So I, as Private High, walking around whatever post I live on, and that post receiving the BAS for my food, well, I would just walk up to a dining facility at breakfast, lunch, or dinner, get my ID out, scan it. They would go, yup, your BAS was transferred to the post. We recognize it. You don't need to pay. Go ahead and eat, young soldier. Now, the total amount of the monies collected from BAS for those troops that rely on dining facilities on post, that money is portioned out for and given to the post, reached $225 million in 2024. But out of that $225 million, $151 million was not used. Over half of that allotment of money that was collected was not used to feed troops. Over 50%. 151 divided by 225 equals 67%. Holy shit. Oh my God. I just did the math and it's 67%. Two-thirds. Oh, fuck. That's disgusting. Now, where did that $151 million go? Nobody knows. Literally, nobody knows. Back in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, there was a question that said, hey, what's up with that money? Where'd it go? And the federal government was like, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. It's just kind of put in a large slush fund, not specifically for the Post or the U.S. Army. Nobody clarified that. And then it's just spent elsewhere. But we don't know where because that money's no longer accountable. Well, then COVID happened and nobody gave it anymore. And hey, look at where we are now. Two-thirds of food money for troops. Gone. Now, if you're all confused with the allotment of money that's supposed to go on and what BAS is and how you don't understand why I would consider this, and I do, stealing from troops. Let me make a little analogy for you. You're 10 years old and your little brother is 8. And your mom grabs $10 out of her purse and says, hey, listen, Ricky, I want you to take your brother Jeremy to McDonald's and get him some chicken nuggets. All right, $10 worth. We're spending money like it's going out of style. It's 1991. You could probably get like a 50 of them for that. I don't know. Now you go to McDonald's and instead of getting $10 worth of chicken nuggies, you go to the dollar menu and get your brother $4 worth of chicken nuggies and then pocket the 6. Now go home and tell your mom you didn't just steal $6 from your brother. You go ahead, you tell your mom. Tell your mother that the whole $10 you spent on little Jimmy and that you didn't take that $6, that you didn't steal what was supposed to be given to little Jimmy. You go ahead and you tell your mom that. Then you come back here and we can continue this conversation. In 2020, Representative Tim Ryan pressed then Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy on the matter during a budget hearing, saying the Army is either wasting half.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What?
I'm fucking happy that you're so into this guy because
I love him because he loves the troops. You know, he wants what's best for what's going on in the military.
He's still
I
doing
know.
PPI shit.
He cares. He can tell he cares. He thinks it's bullshit what they're doing. And I hope now that Hegseth is in charge and he's asked Doge to come in and he's been kicking out.
Hegseth and Vance.
Oh, that's
you have
right.
the E4 Mafia in charge. Holy shit. It's going to be glorious.
Yeah, it's gonna hopefully they're gonna make some big changes.
The food or the money is not being spent on the soldiers' food and it's being spent on something it's not appropriated for. However, there was seemingly no follow-up to that inquiry, which came just before the COVID-19 pandemic. Hey, where's that money going to for these kids? Well, as the Secretary of the Army, I can tell you that I don't know. We should look into that. Nah, I don't think so. But taking all that money away, 2/3 of all that money away that's already been allocated for troops, it couldn't really have any bad, damaging effects. And it couldn't possibly be going on that long, even though I just said 2020. It couldn't possibly lead to troops completely giving up on the DFAC and then spending their own money because the money that they automatically gave to the post dining facility is, well, not going towards them. So now they've got to go into their own wallets and go to the Puller House because they got to afford their own food that they already paid for from the BAS, right? They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't spend their own cash, would they, to eat consistently? Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about Fort Carson. Does everybody remember Fort Carson? They only spent 22% of their entire collected funds on feeding their troops, which was 5 out of $22 million. Where's that $17 million? Not going to feeding their troops.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Let me take you all the way back. All the way back to Thanksgiving of 2024, 4 months ago. We're not even 3 months from this. They ran out of food for over a week during Thanksgiving.
How much longer on this?
Good job. That's right. They had such a food shortage that they served people lima beans and slices of toast for dinner. Because that's all they had left.
So it's got quite a ways. So I guess this has been enough for us.
The point is, there's been some serious fuckery going on.
Yeah, definitely. A lot.
Glad you can summarize that. But yeah, this guy goes into like a 25 or 28-minute video.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking, he gets in the weeds.
But I like how he breaks it down and tells you what the initials mean. And now regular people can see that the soldier's paycheck, when it comes to him, already has the money taken out of it and put into the account, supposedly, so that when they go onto the base, to the restaurant or to the cafe, they can get something to eat. Okay. And if they're going there and they're told they have no money allotted for them, then they have to buy their own food again. So basically they're paying double for the food that they should already have. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To eat there. So yeah, I can see why. But remember, I got pissed. I said it quite a few times that it broke my heart when our president of the United States, which was Joe Biden at the time, and someone asked him, well, the troops don't have enough money to buy food. And he said, well, tell them to get on welfare. I mean, that was pathetic. These are people they're sending to other countries to get shot at, get their legs blown off and stuff. And our president's telling them, well, too bad, get on welfare. That it just pissed me off so bad. Oh, it's disgusting. Made me want to barf. I couldn't look at him the same way. I couldn't look at him as a person like that cares about our country, because I don't. I still don't.
I never looked at him as a person.
Well, I tried to, but I couldn't after that.
No.
That broke my heart when he said that to our troops. And then it's sad that a lot of troops left. It got forced out simply because they wouldn't get the COVID shots.
But there's guys being pulled back in now because they, are being allowed to come back and, they're getting back pay for their time they were separated, forced out because they wouldn't get the shot.
Yeah. But if you think about it, okay, it's like you going to the drive-through of your favorite drive-through restaurant, whichever one it is, and you pull in, and the little thing tells you, the little sign tells you that just by pulling in, they charged you $10. Okay.
Well, let's go get $10 worth of stuff because we're gonna get
now you're supposed to go in and now you order for your food and they charge you another $10 for the food. So at the end, when you pay, it costs you $20 instead of the $10 that it was supposed to cost you. Basically, that's what they've done to all our troops. They put them in harm's way, but they also take double the amount of their allotted to eat. It's disgusting. These people are just repulsive and disgusting. They steal from the people they're supposed to be supporting and protecting our country. And look, but the other thing is, I played it last week on the show when I was showed the video about the us having credit cards. The credit cards for $40 billion. Did you guys see that? Remember that? The government credit cards, okay? And that we spent $40 billion last year on government credit cards when they said there was like 3,000 employees on these cards, but yet there was another 1,500 or whatever more credit cards than what was supposed to be out there, and that they're buying all this stuff, using it like a credit card just to buy whatever they need or want.
Have you ever done a study, Janet, on how much money goes in every year to buying Army and Air Force princesses new boob jobs?
Oh no, I didn't know that, but man,
oh god, that's a you'll see that a lot on base or on post where girls will have like a couple medical procedures, then all of a sudden they get told you can get a boob job. And fuck, they're swiping that money, and that's paid.
Yeah, I got something. Someone asked me to get this. I'm gonna share this real quick before we go to the next little thing here. Here we go. Let me make sure it's turned up. Make it big. Okay, can you guys see it?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about
it. From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Influence.
You're right now not.
See, he didn't care, did he?
No, he doesn't.
He could care less because he feels he's untouchable. He doesn't even let his people watch TV if he doesn't agree with what's on television.
Janet, this is Soros's kid. Can we not?
It's disgusting.
Do we have to pretend he's not Soros's kid?
I guess. I don't know. It just pisses me off. I'm always pissed off. But okay, well, I got the next thing I want to present. Let me open it up.
I got about 10 minutes left before I have to go, so let's do it.
Here we go. Have you guys seen this? It says, now that Joe Biden's comfortably retired, Primetime's been wondering if he still holds a grudge against his friends who cooed him, basically. So that's what this whole thing's about. So I want you to see this. So here we go. Let me get it.
Now that Joe Biden's comfortably retired, we wonder, does he still hold a grudge against the friends who cooed him? Thanks to Donald Trump, we now know.
I asked him, I said, so who do you blame? Because he was very angry. He's a very angry guy, actually. And he said, I blame Barack. And I never think of him as Barack. You always hear Obama. You say, you have to think about that for a second. And he said, and I also blame Nancy Pelosi. I said, what about the vice president? He said, no, I don't blame her, which was interesting. Yeah. He didn't blame her. He blamed, told me he blamed those two people.
No wonder Biden's team was terrified of letting Joe speak without a teleprompter. He's a loose cannon, misfires all the time.
The president's team was scared to death of impromptu, unscripted, unrehearsed, unpracticed, unchoreographed, anything. They couldn't compete for the attention economy. They just couldn't do it. They didn't have any idea. And they didn't have the vessel, either in Biden, by the way, who would have done anything. He loves TV. He loves doing stuff. It was the orbit that did not trust their own candidate.
Biden's team thought he'd stick to his word and be a bridge between generations, but they were shocked to find out there were plans for a second term the second he took office.
When I got to the White House on day one, it became pretty clear to me. I think I went in, first of all, I was just happy to be there, excited. And I used to drive my boss home every night, my chief of staff, because we lived in the same building. And I remember him saying something about, oh, well, that's after the reelect. That's a second term thing. I said, wait, what? Because I think
you believe the bridge.
The hardest part of a coup isn't stabbing your president in the back. It's finding a good leader to replace the guy you just kicked out. And Democrats are still looking without any luck.
My heart breaks for Democratic voters. I used to be a Democratic voter. I'm an independent now because I'm sick of how incompetent the Democratic Party really is. And honestly, calling them incompetent really is generous, because in reality, they're not incompetent necessarily, they're just corrupt.
The party isn't just corrupt, they're also clueless. And it's clear they haven't learned a thing since the election.
I really think the left does not understand what's happening all over the country. MAGA is on fire with a sense of retribution and a sense of the opportunity to make big change, to pressure corporations, to pressure universities, to pressure the media, to pressure Hollywood, to say, new sheriff in town, old ways don't count. We are going to change it.
And the man who was almost vice president is still shouting about fascism.
And we're seeing it in these town halls. That charismatic leader's not going to come there. You know, I see the pundits on TV. What's wrong with the Democratic Party? What's wrong is our country's being stole by fascists and Nazis, and we're trying to do all we can.
Fascists and Nazis, Tampon? Might want to walk that one back. Well, the press gave him a shot yesterday.
We have folks in Lincoln Heights, Ohio, wearing and calling themselves Nazis, walking in the streets, asking to take over that city council and the way they govern there. So they're asking me to apologize because of that?
You were talking about politicians in Washington.
No, I'm talking about the people who are openly Nazis.
Sure.
Dude, you said country.
Yeah, he did.
You said fucking country. The Ohio isn't a fucking country. Oh.
They don't know they don't know that, dude. They just think you're a bunch of hicks that eat fucking corn all the time.
They just look at us as a bunch of dumbasses. They look down their nose at us, that we, even though they've had our wallet pulled wide open and they've just been digging our money out, throwing it around. Hey, look at us. We got all this money, because it's constantly being filled by all the people working in the country. So they've never run out of money. The only way any of these people like Tim are going to see the truth is when the money is gone. When we get rid of all these open wallets where they have to account for every dollar that they ask for, that's when we're going to see that kind of shit stop. That's the only time that's going to happen. Just like I've been saying about the whole thing with the Bud Light commercials. Remember that Bud Light commercial? And everybody got pissed off and they said, F you, Bud Light. And they didn't buy it. Well, what happened? When everybody got together and said, F you, Bud Light, they stopped doing it because they couldn't afford to lose that much money. And the same thing happened when everybody had a chance and not watch NFL, when they were taking the knee and, doing all the stupid shit. But guess what? Apparently most men cannot go a whole season without watching professional football. They couldn't just.
And that's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, it is pathetic. But
I mean,
that's what happened.
The Super Bowl that recently went by, everybody's like, oh, that was such a great Super Bowl. And it's like, and oh, that was such a great halftime show. It's like, do you not know what they fucking did during that halftime show? They basically said America is fucking racist during that whole halftime show. And also, Serena Williams, I believe it is, the one who was doing that sea dance, that sea walk, as they call it, also known as a Crip walk, for those of you who don't know. Serena and Venus Williams' older sister was murdered by a Crip. And she's on the fucking stage doing a Crip walk. Basically showing support for the Crips. Because she gangsta. Your fucking sister was murdered by those gangsters. You dumb fucking see you next Tuesday.
Okay, well, I want to show this one next since you're going to leave. So before you leave, I wanted to play this one video that's going to be talking about some of the things that you said you were interested in sharing. And I just think it's important that we hear about the whole thing that was released by Pam Bondi. And this is a part of what she feels, Ms. Powell feels our administration with Pam Bondi should really be getting into. So we'll see what you guys think about it. Make sure it's turned up. Here we go.
They specifically did not look at the BlackBerry backups, and they didn't look at a fraction of the emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop. So one of the things, if I were the president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it and then start using it. There's a lot that can be prosecuted. I have no doubt on that laptop. In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up. It's bad.
I'm assured that's it. Cash asked the same questions. Assured there's no more. I found out, this week that a source told me New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents regarding Epstein. Thousands. And of course, you've seen the very strong letter. We will get everything. We will have it in our possession. We will redact it, of course, to protect grand jury information and confidential witnesses, but the American people have a right to know. And Donald Trump is the most transparent president in our nation's history. So not only will America get the full Epstein files, they will get JFK, they will get Martin Luther King.
Okay, so I played that for you, but she's right. How long has it been since that laptop came out with Anthony Weiner stuff on it? And we heard a lot of bad stuff. So there's a lot of shit out there that needs to be pulled out. So I'm hoping earlier there was a couple things in the chat about that it was a nothing burger, basically, because the whole thing was pretty much redacted. So there must have been a shit, because it was like 200 and something victims.
Pages. Here's the thing. What they released is all and redacted in the release was already released unredacted years ago when Ghislaine got freaking locked up. And it's like, you guys seriously, I mean, Liv's a TikTok, Liz Wheeler, who else? The motherfuckers that also did all those photo shoots with the Epstein files. Congratulations.
The Blaze? What?
You just made us all look stupid. You made us all look like fucking idiots. Oh, they just released the Epstein files. I haven't seen one fucking celebrity name. So yeah, all that all that redacted shit that they released in the Epstein files, common fucking knowledge. Congratulations, you played yourselves. This was a bad day for the Trump administration. And I'm not afraid to admit when our administration made a mistake, folks. This was when our fucking administration fucked up. And the people at the FBI office in New York, count your fucking days of employment. Because honestly, when Kash Patel fucking comes in, you're done.
We need to just park a couple fucking chippies in the parking lot over there, and just take the loudest mouth at the water cooler at the FBI office, and just do a JSA in the parking lot with the others, and just fire it up. Start getting them ready to be fed inside to it, kind of like
And not only that. Not only that. They are trying to destroy evidence of the Epstein files. If that is happening, I want those, or I think all of the American people, I can speak for most of them at least. I think the majority of the American people will not only be calling for arrests, but fucking charges of treason.
Yeah.
Destroying that evidence
I think there is
detrimental
going
to the American people.
Because honestly, do you think that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, if they can prove that there's some guys over there or women that are destroying files that they were already asked for by the president of the United States, won't arrest these people? I think they will.
Oh, they need to be fucking federally charged if they're doing that shit. And not only that, you have fucking FBI agents that are saying, well, we're seriously thinking about possibly passing on some of this information to other countries and shit. It's like, did you just seriously fucking admit that you're willing to commit treason just because you don't like the new fucking bosses?
Mm-hmm.
Are you seriously that much? I'm sorry. Right then and there, I would have said, I want their fucking names. I want them in this office. And I want a lot of fucking handcuffs. Because what they just did, I'm sorry, that's intent to betray your country.
Mm-hmm. That's
freedom
a fact.
of speech doesn't apply. Freedom of speech does not apply when you are about to break the law.
Mm-hmm.
And they just showed every intent when they said, well, maybe we should slip some of this stuff to other countries, leak it to other countries. Motherfucker, you're under arrest, charged with treason against the United States. And the penalty for that is death. You will be publicly fucking, or I think that they should bring back fucking public executions. I'm sorry. They really do. Especially for charges of treason. But anyway, folks, I can't stay too much longer. I got to get going because I got to be up early in the morning.
Well, thank you for
Janet,
hanging out with us.
Yep, thanks for having me. Ruben, good to see you. Bruce, always a pleasure, man. So, yeah, folks, y'all have a good night. And I'll see you on the next one, and stay humble.
God bless you, Orange.
Have a good night. Get some sleep.
Will do.
Okay, this next thing that I found I thought was pretty interesting is this whole article. It says in March 2023, a Florida grand jury accused the Biden administration of facilitating the forced migration, sale, and abuse of foreign children and detailed the HHS process for facilitating the transport of migrant children into Florida and claimed that the witnesses described how some sponsors used the address of a Jacksonville strip club and open fields. Okay. Up to 500 children were sent to the strip club's address. No one batted an eyelash or did anything to stop it. So I just want you guys to watch this video. I'm going to make it bigger and listen to this. This is pathetic. This is another thing that Bruce has had to hear me rant about since I first started hanging out with Bruce is, child trafficking and stuff. So here we go.
Brace yourself for the disturbing truth. The Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, conducted a vetting process so flawed that they've approved the transfer of innocent children to an adult male who openly provided the address of a strip club as his residence.
So you became aware that you got 329 children that are sent to the same address. Who else knew about that?
The entire executive leadership at Health and Human Services knew about it, as well as the Office of Inspector General and the HSI. But they continued to send children because we know the numbers went up even after I had reported this to the leadership. I remember this particular one. I had stayed up all night putting this PowerPoint together to make sure that, I had put together all of the evidence, that it was in one package and that leadership could then, make a decision based on all of the data that was put together in the one PowerPoint.
So were additional children being sent there even after it was identified that we had 100 children there, 200 children there, 300 children there?
Yes, Senator, I think that before I left the site that number may have been up to 500 plus.
So no real evaluation from there other than just keep sending them because that gets them out of here.
Yeah, no, the PowerPoint that I put together to demonstrate what was happening, they said was speculative. And I think they told Tara that she had cultural bias, something like that, but they did not take it seriously.
Pretty bad, huh?
Yep.
And that was the last administration, basically, and how they dealt with all this stuff. Just like we've seen a few different groups of people that went to the border with Dr. Phil, and before, when Trump was president, they did rapid DNA tests to see whether the children that were being brought over the border with adults, who their parents were, and if their parents were with them. And when they weren't their parents, they had to take the kids away because there was no way to prove, because they don't have birth certificates or shot records or any other ID to prove that these are their parents. You just have a kid that's either being forced to say, this is my dad or my uncle or whatever, against their will, that they're afraid, they're kids, it's disgusting. And then find out later on, well, they got tired of it, because that's what Dr. Phil said. Remember, he said there were so many kids coming across the border without parents or anyone associated with them that they got tired of the rapid DNA proving that these kids didn't belong with these people, so they stopped doing it. So when a guy came across the border with 5 little girls, he would say, these are my daughters. And they'd say, okay. When your gut instinct's telling you that these little girls are going to be taken in here and be used as little prostitutes so that this guy can make a lot of money off of these little girls, because they can be sold over and over and over again all day long and all night, right? It's disgusting to think about it. And that this last administration let that just like it was nothing, because they're just pieces of meat. They're not even people. That's how they look at them. Just like I said, I've seen so many people that get mad and throw a tantrum over a turtle's egg being dug up and sold on the black market, but they don't bat an eye when it comes to a little kid. I don't understand. I don't understand how that works. I don't understand the concept of that. I cannot understand it at all. It does not make any sense why our children are so far down on the ground that nobody wants to do anything about it. And now we have a president that I know did everything he could when he was president last time, and he's doing it again. That's why they're I mean, just the number of people coming over the border is just, it's almost none now compared to what it
People
was.
are going back to Mexico.
Yeah, because the money's getting cut off. Just like I said, if you take the money from them, just like the Bud Light people or any of these other idiots, like all these movies that had come out that bombed because the people were saying, I could take this $25 that I was going to take me and my spouse or whatever to the movies with, and buy tickets to go see this piece of shit movie that we already know is going to be filled with woke shit, and they're going to try to cram it down our throat. Or we could take this $25 and go bowling, or we can go do something else, go throw axes or knives, right? There's so many other things you could spend that $25 on besides going somewhere and knowing they're going to force an agenda down your throat. I don't want to do that. I'd rather spend the $25 and rent a movie and go home and watch it and eat popcorn or something, something fun where we can have entertainment, which is supposed to make us happy for a short amount of time to take us out of our regular grind. Yet Hollywood doesn't understand that. But then that movie, remember all the stink that came out when he had the movie that came out about the trafficking? Mm-hmm. What was it? Sound of Freedom or something like that? And all the stink that everybody was saying, oh, it's bullshit. The guy's a pedophile himself and he's trying to take the heat off himself. They came up with every horrible thing to say. Just like, because I say that I voted for Trump, I'm automatically a racist. I'm a bigot. But
the story had already come out back in 2013.
I know.
They did an expose on all the work he had done. Mm-hmm. And Obama praised the guy.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the fact that it's to even bring up child trafficking, don't do that. You can't do that. Again, it's just stupid.
Yeah, I get in trouble. I get in trouble all the time. And I might get in trouble for having this on the show tonight. I might lose my channel for another 2 weeks or something. What? Or they're going to get tired of me because we talked about a lot of things that they don't like we talk about. Child trafficking, or anything, any of this stuff. I mean, one of my videos up that we had a little part in it that were talking about the global warming. The one guy was saying it was fake and he used to run the channel or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they had a blurb at the bottom now that says global warming, blah, 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 so that, it's a label on my video because of it. So it's like, they just don't like the content that I have. They don't like that I try to share information with people and let them figure it out. Let them watch the video, let them listen and look at it. And sometimes I try to share even the links in the chat, like I did with the woman that was talking about the affairs. I put that in the chat. So other people could go and look at it themselves and get the information, listen, research it themselves, get online and try to find out as much as they can about different things. And it should be us. That to me is transparency. If there's two different things out there and I can read both of them and decide whether I want to have this one or this one because of the information I was able to gather, isn't that the right that I should have? If I pick up a product and I see the label on it and it says it has saccharin in it, and then there's another one just like it next to it that says no saccharin in it, and I want to eat one without saccharin, then I have the right to purchase that one and not have to buy the one that has it in it. Because if the government wants to sell me a product that has something in it that they already know causes cancer in rats, and because they're not held liable for any of it, see? And we can't sue them. We can't sue them over the whole COVID jab or anything, because all that was passed that, they knew what was in it. Because if they would kill a whole laboratory full of puppy dogs, what were it going to do when you stick it in people? I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But they fixed it so that we can't do anything about it. We can't attack them. So the only way to get retribution for people is that in your state, you talk to the people that that are available in your state about what to do about the shot. That's why I'm loving that Robert Kennedy Jr. has set up a website so that people can get on there and fill out the information saying that they have vaccine injuries or whatever. And he's doing that now. Okay. And he has the right to do that because of his position in Trump's cabinet. So hopefully people will start going there if they have problems and putting information, because they haven't been keeping good records about what's going on. I mean, we're never going to know exactly how many people died from the jab or the COVID. Who's going to give you the information? Because nobody kept it. Nobody kept good records. And if anybody did keep the records, they're only a small portion of it because only a few people did anything about it. So I don't know. It's just really sad that we're in the situation that we are with a lot of things that are going on simply because nobody wanted to know the truth. They just shut up and they put their rose-colored glasses on and pretended like they weren't in the real world. We're in la la land, and that's where we want to live, because I guess being in the matrix and pretend land is better. There's no stress. You don't have to worry about anything. You just pop a few pills, take a nap, and wake up and you eat and pop a few more pills and go back to sleep and dream about how wonderful your life is instead of actually living your life. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm hoping that with this administration, it's going to start getting better. And we're only 35 days in, 34 days?
34 days.
Yeah. So, I think it's already gotten better. Yeah, even though the whole Pam Bondi, a lot of people were bitching about that. I mean, I went to breakfast with two of my sisters, and both of them were like, that was bullshit what happened. It was all redacted. You couldn't read anything. And I go, yeah,
but dude, there was a miscommunication. And it's basically, again, where do you get your information from? Essentially, what happened was they were there initially for a pre-planned event to celebrate the new media that was a part of the press pool. And as part of the whole idea that they are the first of the press, they get the first of the official packet of the Epstein files, which was the Rolodex, or phone book of information. Mars coming out. And it was found out that when Pam Bondi told them this, here is what this is, and here is the first statement. Her first statement was not the phone book. It was the letter stating that, hey, New York is now refusing to do this, so we're going to do what we're going to do. But everybody focused on the idea that they got it first, and it was a nothing burger, but it was not a nothing burger. It's it looks bad. The optics look bad, but today made it up for what happened. Because again, imagine if the press pool wasn't there and you had people just writing shit down, and they would have said it the wrong way, but you had video to prove what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the whole idea. The whole idea is yesterday what went down, we didn't see the whole picture. And again, let's call it out. We didn't get what we wanted. And I looked at everything going on, and that's what really happened. There was an issue, and they're fixing it right now.
Yeah. So what I got from it, from watching, remember I've been doing a lot of live streams on X, showing all of the interviews and all the senators doing all the stuff, trying to get the cabinet installed, right?
Right.
So I've been watching all these live streams with all this bullshit. I'm just like, I just can't take it. These people are idiots. Okay, that's basically how I've been feeling about it. And I get pissed off, and then I couldn't sleep. It's just a constant chain of hate that I was being filled with, because I was so upset listening to these people just spout so much rhetoric and bullshit. But the fact is, what I was thinking when I first saw it, because I did see a lot of the stuff. Remember way back when it first came out, we were sharing it. We were talking about it on Telegram and all the other different platforms, actual videos of the laptop from Hunter Biden's laptop. People were sharing that before they locked it all down, saying it was Russia and misinformation and bullshit, which was lies. And we knew it was because we saw some of the stuff that was on it, and we know that he's sitting there smoking a crack pipe and talking to the camera, and the bimbo that was in there with him, that's not Russian misinformation. That's actually Hunter Biden smoking a crack pipe. I mean, it was ridiculous that they thought we were all so stupid that we believe it, but it didn't matter. It pacified people for a certain amount of time, and they got to spend all that money, and USAID was just going gangbusters. They probably paid Hunter Biden a shit ton of money to leave his laptop there just so they could use it to try to say Trump was with Russia and whatever. I don't know. To me, it was disgusting. But the fact that Pam Bondi said some things, put it out there, and then the next day they come out and say, well, the FBI in New York's not giving us what we need. And I think they're destroying evidence, and they're doing this, that, and the other. So I need cash to get in there and get me what I need. Because the president said so. And then what happens? All the people are thinking they're destroying evidence. Do something about it. So you got people ranting about it now, saying that they shouldn't be able to do that and they need to be arrested and stuff. So maybe this whole thing was set up to put the spotlight right on New York.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was
thinking. The exact same thing happened with the whole Elon Musk email thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When people started bitching about it, it wasn't because he wanted to know what you did. They're trying to find out all the dead emails. When they basically said we're going to do an accounting of everything, and when the first order came out, stop all payments for 90 days. What they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
They basically said, okay, shit, 90 days. Then they were monitoring all the accounts, and they saw USAID was starting to pay more shit. They knew where to go. So then now they know where to go because they know who didn't send an email. It goes back to the whole idea that hey, this place is only 60% capacity. No one's coming into work. All this other crazy shit's going down. It's insane, and it boggles the mind when the Social Security Administration through Doge, not the Social Security Administration. Think about this. Your Social Security card, everybody listening. You have a Social Security card. You got it either when you were born or when you started working. But here's the point. I had to go through disability aspect for all the paperwork, the process. It took almost 2 years for it to happen, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting money now. I got my first pay this past month. I'm going to get one next month, and I'm going to get it for the rest of my life, whatever. So I put that money in. Money in. My wife put money in too, but she passed away, and then she gets shit, and I don't get anything of that money. It's gone. So all her life, she put in. She was 69 when she passed away, and like all the money she put in, she would have gotten for the rest of her life. She retired at 69. She would have gotten what 4,000 or 25,000, 3,000 or whatever, and she would have. But that's gone now. Tough luck. Done. So that shit. They had actual people, Social Security Administration, in the database that were over 100 years old. Millions. Over 150, 200, 350. Someone was 369 years old.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Are these the vampires? Are these the unicron vampires that are out there? But again, this I'm saying. The government's own system has this, and how it's been going on since 1930, 33. When this is almost 100 years of Social Security, and all this fraud is going on for how long? Who knows? And they're complaining that these people are looking at your personal information. You've been ransacking it for hundreds of years. So no, we're done.
Well, this is the next thing I wanted to talk about. I thought Bruce would love this. Okay. This is the last thing that I had chosen for this evening, but this is genius. This guy, I've seen him a couple times in videos, and man, I like this guy. Man, he is smart for our Commerce Secretary. But have you seen this video, Bruce?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
But you're going to see it now.
It's about the post office, basically. But listen to this guy; he is a genius.
So the concept was, I'm sitting with the president, and the costs of the post office are like it loses $7 billion. And he said, "Can you do something with it?" And I said, "Sure." So I saw him the next day. He goes, "Okay, what do you got?" He gives me the whole 24 hours to figure it out. And I said, "Well, the Commerce Department does the census. And we spend $40 billion every 10 years doing the census. And that means we hire 625,000 people. And they go and they rent cars and gas, and you pay them food. And you know what they do? They go to every household in America and count the people. What department do we already have that already employs 625,000 people? It's got cars, already has gas, goes to every household. Can you imagine saying to your postman, can you count the people in the house? What day could he do the census? Monday? Could he double check it on Tuesday? How about Wednesday? He goes every day. So we can only save $40 billion or $4 billion a year, and we'll do a better job. And you know what else we can do with the post office? They can go to your house when you have a baby and give you the form for Social Security. And the 20,000 Social Security offices that we have, we just don't need them. We actually can do real customer service. Go right to your house. Someone died. Here's the forms. You can fill it out. I'll bring them to your house. Customer service. Why? Because we've got those people. Let's use the assets of the government to make us better and save us money. We can be smart, We're allowed.
What do you think of that?
That'd be great. I'm okay with us spending a little money with the Postal Service. Because I don't know if you know about the Hellcat or the mail cat, but Northrop Grumman designed the atypical mail truck. That's not Chevy, that's not Dodge, that's Northrop Grumman. And they've been around for like 60, 70 years or so. Might as well have been. Like, they're falling apart. We need new mail trucks. We need good new mail trucks.
But the thing is, what he just said,
Yeah,
we already have this. We already have the U.S. Postal Service. We already have it. So why are we hiring 650,000 people to come in and count people when these people go to their house every day when they take your mail? That was a genius idea. And he did it. He said he had 24 hours, basically, when he saw the president again. He asked him, well, what did you come up with? So Trump is go, go, go. See, and I love that about him, and that's one of the reasons why we've seen so much happen in his first 34 days is because he's like an ever ready rabbit. I mean, he just goes and goes and goes until he just falls over somewhere. I think his battery runs out, and then his wife just plugs him in, and the next morning turns the switch back on, and he's ready to go. It's amazing. I think it's amazing. I think he's amazing, and I just think he's doing a kick-ass job. But I think it's a great idea to use the post office for that, because I mean, just like I was talking about it, I make pictures and then I decoupage them. So once you decoupage, you can't roll it up in a tube, to mail it to somebody, which is really cheap. I have to do that and stretch a canvas over a piece of wood to mail those pictures. And if they're very big, it costs me, a few $100s to make one. Right. And I special order the canvas and the rhinestones, whatever, when I make it. But it costs me like 6 times that to mail it through the post office. So it's outrageous. I had a picture, that Mandalorian picture, which is the size of a movie poster. They wanted to charge me $290 to mail it from Arkansas to Florida. It's cheaper for me to get in my truck, fill it up with gas, and drive there. Than to mail it through the post office. So anything to me that's going to make the post office do more work for the money that we're already spending on them, more power to it. That's how I look at it. So I think it's a great idea, and I hope they do that. So, but that's it. You guys want to have anything you guys want to talk about your channels that's coming up?
I'm gonna focus on this. We did I shared a link earlier in the private chat.
Mm-hmm. You did another one? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see it. I'll get it. Let me open it for you. Do you want me to share it?
Sure.
Okay. So let me get it open. Okay, here we go.
So a few days back, there's this place in Houston. It's a subdivision called Colony Ridge. If you follow Glenn Beck or other members of the right media, they talk about Colony Ridge because that's the big demon. That's the big bad place where you can have a private investor sell you a house in this facility in the subdivision, and you can have a 2-bed or a 3-bed 2-bath for a little bit more than what you normally pay, but you're not going through the credit unions, or you're not going through a bank. You're going through this guy who's got a stack of money, and he's already got the house ready. He's got the facilities ready, just needs people to live there and pay him money so he can get his return. Well, Colony Ridge was focus of a big Blaze Media discussion earlier last year. And you have places that are in Colony Ridge where they have like 30 or 20 people living in one house.
Yeah. Is this the neighborhood that we were talking about that has all the illegals?
Yep.
Okay. In Texas, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I want to make sure I didn't get it mixed up with something else.
So our good friends at ICE on Tuesday said more than 100 people were arrested during the operation the day before a sprawling majority Latino housing development, but only released information about one of the arrests. So Tom Homan said on Tuesday the Operation Colony Ridge resulted in around 90 or a little bit more arrests. Federal immigration officials didn't respond to the Tribune's request. There's a Texas Tribune, by the way, for a list of names of the ages. In a social media post, ICE comes back and says 118 people had been arrested, including people with prior convictions that included homicide, theft, and child sexual abuse. The one person they discuss is a deportee, Florentine Chavez Luna. They've moved this person out of the States 3 times, according to ICE. Arrested on a warrant for alleged repeated sexual abuse of a minor from November 2008 to November 2016.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the type of person they're shoving out the country. So anybody that says, Trump bad, or why are you moving these people out of the country? They just want a good life, blah, blah, blah. No, ICE is actually going after the really creepy ones that are looking after your daughters while they're, in the back of the house, the yard, doing their cheer squad practices. That guy's in the window. He speaks no English, but he's watching your daughter with binoculars. That's the level of evil that they're going after. And I'm not really a big fan of the government right now. But if ICE is going to actually go earn its keep, going after shit like that, that's going to make me completely on their side.
Well, great.
The wood chipper, yes, the wood chipper needs to be seen more as a tool. I agree. I was raised a poor orc child. Yes, Cal. It's always good to see you in here. By the way, Janet, you'd be a fine mod. I'm just saying.
Okay. I was going to ask you too. Is is he hurting now that all the people are leaving, or is it helping him? The gentleman that started this whole project with the houses.
I think that's they're going to make money no matter what.
Oh, you think that no matter what, they're going to make money?
If 10 people leave the housing development, that's not going to hurt it too much. You got 10 people in one house living together. That's not going to hurt it. Okay, so he makes $1,700 every month off of 10 or 12 people, or off of 15 people. They're not really contributing a whole lot to the goal, the pool there.
Yeah.
So they can lose a half household and still make the bills. Hey, Boosh.
Oh, hi, Boosh. Well, I guess I'm going to make him a.
You don't have to, but I'm just saying he makes a fine.
I have to. I can't do it on here. It's not letting me do it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
I
it.
have to do it on. Well, I'm opening up my X right now. I mean, my YouTube right now. So just give me a second.
Okay.
Keep talking. So I can get over here to this, because I can't do it on this. I have to do it on my actual channel.
Yeah, everything would be continuing as normal if U.S. aid was never discovered,
Mm-hmm.
and that all started. Thank God for Doge.
Hey.
Okay, it should be working now.
Yep, it is
awesome. All right, because StreamYard doesn't work the way I thought it was supposed to, but I was trying to do something, but nothing.
I can't do anything on StreamYard, so I go to Restream.
Yeah.
Dun,
Okay.
dun.
But I was just going to let everybody know that this Sunday, Bruce and I are going to be reviewing the movie Willow. Yeah, Willow. And I'm excited about it. I've been working on my costume, so I'm excited about what I'm going to wear. And
she's in costume.
If you want to watch the movie with us, send Bruce or I a DM so we can invite you, and you can come and watch the movie with us on Discord, or on Gilded. Right?
Either Gilded or Restream, one of those two.
Okay, Gilded or Restream, but just let us know, because everyone's welcome to watch it with us if they want. If you like the movie Willow, or if you haven't seen the movie and you'd like to watch it. I was shocked. I talked to 3 people the last couple of days that had never seen the movie.
I've never seen it.
So I was trying to show them my costume that I'm making. They're like, wow, it's going to be really good. But what is it? Who is it? They had no clue. They'd never seen it before. I was surprised because I love it. I've seen it like 50 times already. But I love this movie. I'm excited about it. And then tomorrow we'll be playing a game again, right, Bruce?
Yes, we're playing a game tomorrow. We're playing the high-level game tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun. So if you want to stop in and say hi or whatever while we're rolling dice, and
go watch the party die, because they've gone into a realm that they don't understand the consequences of their actions, and they've gone a little too headstrong.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Okay.
But Ruben, what do you have going on with your channel?
Well, my channel right now, I'm not on hiatus, but since I've been trying to get some work done, I've been doing the shit show, and I've been posting on X, and been doing very minimal, like once every couple of weeks. So I've been on here doing that. So I've been getting things are changing. Like I mentioned before, my disability finally kicked in, so I have that. I'm looking for work, still trying to get that taken care of as well. Starting to get my business going. Starting to eventually move, eventually marry, eventually have a family, and make America great again my own way. So to that effect, back a few months ago, I believe, Zax, if people know who Zax is, invited me on a show, Circle Jerk show, Saturday night, and I went on there, and they were basically concerned that I was being catfished, but I'm not.
It's not a far cry, because many of us have had friends get catfished.
I know.
15 years.
I know.
So
I was being funny.
It's like they're picking on you or whatnot, but like there's a lot of people we know that have like lost money because they gave money to someone that they thought was a relative or girlfriend or girlfriend to be, or you get the Ukrainian one from the 1990s, early 2000s, and
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it does happen. I mean, it does happen, and if it's if a total stranger is asking you for money, don't give it to them, and don't give them your personal information. Don't if they say meet me over at WhatsApp.
That's left of the sex
Pictures. What? Don't go do it. I mean, I was sharing some stuff today because I've got 3 different people sending me weird messages and stuff and asking all kinds of personal information, and it's just it's bizarre that people would actually send people money, those type of people. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just want people to be safe, but
but the point being here is that tomorrow night I'm a returning guest on Zach's show. I'm gonna have some fun because again, you know what, life's all about having fun.
That's
because
right.
again, I set up because I guess again I was on Matt's show a lot last year, 2 years ago, and that's where it all started. So then that's when I went on Matt's show after he came back and going, "You're getting married, you're this and that, how?" And he was like, "How in the hell are you getting married? And I can't even find a girlfriend or whatever." And that was where it all spun from. But you've met Haya, you know who she is. And so, but tomorrow night she's not gonna be available. She's doing other things. I put her to bed. Go to bed. Work out. Get ready for your job.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I'm gonna be on the show. So have some fun because again, I'm still working everything out. But a lot of big things are coming. So I'll let you know really what's going on very, very briefly. So this contract that I got. It finished, and they're going to be doing some new work. I got the information today that new work starting in March. So that's good news. Haya is going to be a TSA agent. Hopefully she'll start working in Madison, Wisconsin in April or May of this year. Latest is June. So then the future is I'll be moving to Wisconsin with her and starting her new life. So that's the process right now. So things are turning around slowly. So follow me for the journey. I'll put more information on X as it comes out, but catch us tomorrow night with X. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, that's great. Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone who hung out with us in the chat. I really appreciate it because without you guys, there's no reason for us to do it, and I just want to say thank you again to Bruce because without Bruce inviting me to come on his show, I don't think I would be doing any of this stuff. Okay.
Janet, you would have found a way. Life finds a way, Janet.
Well, maybe, but you're the reason why I decided to do it. And then once I got the taste of, wow, this is kind of fun. I kind of like it. It's like been therapy for me. It's helped me through a lot of problems in my life. And I've enjoyed it immensely. I love getting to dress up in costumes and talk about movies. It's fun. It's just awesome. I look forward to it every week and never want to miss it. And I just want people to know that. And I appreciate you for it. So I just want you to know that I thank you for helping me on this journey. Okay, Bruce.
Yeah, you're one of my best friends. Okay, Janet.
Yeah. And we've been there for each other, hopefully, mostly just support. But it's important that people have somebody they can lean on sometimes just to listen to them. It's important to have that. And same thing with Ruben. I met Ruben on a stream, and half the stream I was a tampon. Remember that, Ruben?
Yes.
It was fun. I laughed a lot, and I met Ruben, and we've been friends ever since. So you can meet decent people if you just are open to listening and spending a little time to get to know people. You know what I mean? Instead of just assuming something. And I hate that word. My mother used to say, never assume, because that makes an ass of you and me. That's what she told me. So I try never to do that.
I wish you could have met your mother.
Oh, she was a wonderful person. I'm telling you. Yeah, you've met 3 of my sisters. So you kind of get an idea of what my mom might have been like, I think, Bruce. Right?
Yeah.
Is she more like Sandy or no?
Who, my mom? No.
Yeah.
I think she's more like Jennifer and I. Jennifer and I are the most like my mom, I think. And I'm just.
So Sandy follows your dad quite a bit? Or?
No, she's more like one of my aunts. That's who she reminds me of. But that doesn't mean she's not going to say that, I don't think. but she is part of my mom, so I know that there's some of my mom in there. But yeah, I am stubborn. I'm very stubborn. My mom was stubborn.
No,
so I get that.
Not Janet. No, you're not stubborn.
Yeah, so I admit it though. But see, I'm not perfect, and all of us that realize that we're not perfect and that we need to constantly work on ourselves. I think you're a better person. You know what I mean? Because you don't hold it against other people when they're not perfect. You see, because no one is. You know what I mean? So I think that makes a good person. And I've met some really good people on here. Yeah, it's pretty gruesome, Bruce, and I don't want to meet that guy either.
This is the Jabberwock.
Yeah, he's scary looking.
They're even
I don't know where you get all these guys, but they're pretty awesome.
I would love to say something like, I get it from the Rob Bottin prop store. No, I actually get it from the game store next to the Pizza Hut and the big titty goth girl makeup store on Fredericksburg and Medical.
But I just want to say thank you again to everyone, and hope you guys have a wonderful night, and end up having a great weekend. Talk to you guys later.
Hopefully soon we're going to be able to get 5 of the sisters together in a chat. And
that would
where is it going to be? The shit show, the girls' night out. All of you girls at one show.
That would be really good. But all it would be, it was a bunch of us all just all talking.
That's the whole point. But then you could do this. You could put the song. You remember I told you the song?
Yeah, that song.
Shit show every single day.
I know, but because that's what people used to laugh about my dad, because he's so quiet now. When he was in the hospital and he's sitting up in the bed, and 3 of us girls are there, and we're all asking the doctor questions and getting stuff from my dad, and we're waiting on him and doing all this stuff, and they're like, "No wonder you're so quiet." Because he had 5 daughters. How did he ever get a word in? And in the house that he retired in, we had 1 bathroom.
Oh no.
Yeah, so my dad just, he made lots of friends with trees out in the yard, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it'd be fun. I think it'd be a really fun show. The one show I got to have 2 sisters on there with Bruce, that was a fun one. I thought it was a fun show.
I was pleasantly overwhelmed.
But I tried to warn him. I said, yeah, we all talk a lot.
I felt like a dog that was used to chasing cars, and I was seeing 2 cars come at once.
Yeah. And you get run over.
Didn't know how to take it. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm glad. But I've been trying to get Sandy to come, but she just she's not interested.
Maybe I can help her come.
You need to. She's American Woman on.
That's what she said.
Yeah, American Woman on Twitter.
On Twitter?
Or X. Yeah. So that's what you got to do. But okay, I'm going to go ahead and say see you later, everybody. Have a great week.
First off, let me convey to my family, friends, and supporters that now is not the time to gloat. We must remember that most of our left-leaning friends are good people who want the same things in life as we do, but simply think differently on how to get there. It is now time to be the bigger man, to extend an olive branch and unite all reasonable people of this great nation. God has blessed America, and together with President Trump, we will make America great again.